So yeah, bro, here we go, man. Well, I wouldn't say our first podcast, but I'll say actually our first podcast together. Out of all the work we've done, this is our first one when it's actually just me and you.
Yeah, it's
which
true.
is actually pretty insane.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is to wrap up the 2020 year.
What a year.
The year of the COVID.
Come on.
The year of the furlough.
Ooh.
The year of the free holidays, as some like to call it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it has been a crazy year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no regrets. I wouldn't say I regret anything. I say there's a lot of learning from it, but a lot of gains from it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a year I'm gonna regret or ever forget. That's for true. What about you?
You know what? Same. Like you said, the year of the furlough. Got put on furlough. First time I haven't been working properly for a long time in years. And that was a magical time. Not because I wasn't working, but because I was able to work on myself. I was able to read and get back into the habit of reading, learn some new stuff. So yeah, like you say, no regrets. No regrets.
Yeah, no, literally, I think being put on furlough, everyone waiting to, you know, all those things where people talk about working from home. I wish I could just work from home, and then now it's like the new norm.
Yeah,
it's like we don't need you to come to the office no more. Or how can we keep this social distancing continuing? And it's like now you got to go in the office in shifts. So
yeah,
I think it's brilliant for me. Obviously, furlough wasn't a long thing because I'm in construction, so you know it's a bit of a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, obviously with the furlough that was going on, and then you had the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah. Which was, I think it was very intense for a lot of people. Yeah. I saw social media take a big change. I see like a lot of people sat out for a bit, or didn't let it distract them, didn't let it overwhelm them, and I think the whole movement itself was eye-opening for a lot of people. Yeah. I think for black people and people of ethnic backgrounds as well. Yeah,
I mean, on the topic of that, you know, the team I work with, the company I work with, we've started whole new parts of the company because of what started from that point. Do you know what I mean? Talking about diversity and inclusion, and it's a lot of people I work with who aren't black. This was the moment that opened their eyes, and I think for me that was a massive shock. Yeah. But I'm very fortunate, you know, I live in Lewisham, you know, I might be a minority in Lewisham, so like to go from, like, I'd say I'm very aware of what's going on, but a lot of my colleagues and a lot of people around me who aren't connected in that way, it was very eye-opening for them. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. It's shocking that it took so long to get to that point, but like you say, it was a very big moment. Some people took some time out because definitely it was necessary. A lot of people learned a lot of things, and hopefully it's actually made some permanent change to the way society acts and behaves.
Oh, 100%. And I think that I remember I was listening to there was a podcast that I was listening to before, and they was talking about the word urban and how they say the word urban should be taken out of the dictionary because it's just another word for black. But when I see you, it's like I think you're the definition of what I call urban, because you wouldn't class yourself as black because you're not black. Yeah. But you are 100% part of that urban community. Yes, it's the black community, but you're not going to call yourself black, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. It's the whole point of saying, well, yeah, I'm from an urban community. It's because that urban community is not just the colour, it's the background, it's where you've grown up, it's what you've gone through, you've seen the struggle. Yeah. And I think what some people don't understand is that, yeah, it counts as black, but what does the term urban, or what does it actually mean? What does it bring up from? Where does it come from? Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people need to actually see and actually think about. Not just saying, oh, black people struggle, oh, it's just another word for black. How about actually think about the struggle, think about the bring up, think about the actual overcoming the word itself. But yeah, no, I think it was definitely hard times, and a lot, I think, got brought to the table, and a lot of eye-opening situations and companies came out, and it's just like, it was nice to see who was ready to help and to see who you could trust, and the fact of it was still happening even to what recently with that whole Sainsbury's going on. Yeah, that was mental.
Who knew gravy? An advert for gravy could make people so damn mad.
Yeah, and that was it. You think it's just like, it shows you the bigger picture when, like you said, it's an advert for gravy, but what it does to someone inside of them is completely different.
Bro, you know, it's you're so right, because in, I think it was 2017, maybe 2018, Nike came out with that that advert with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And there were literally people that same day who cut their socks so it didn't have the Nike swoosh on it. They were like, no, I don't want to be involved in this. They're supporting a guy who's against the army, against the flag, against America, right? All of that. Everyone was like, oh, I'm going to go to Under Armour, I'm going to go to Adidas, all of this nonsense, right? You go on 2 years and the whole thing is 360 flip.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see which corporations are on the right side of history every single time. And like you say with Sainsbury's, and there was a moment, I think actually, where every single like big grocer, big supermarket did something together. They all had trailers back to back to back, and they all were very inclusive trailers and adverts. And I was like, this is the moment where you need to choose what side you're on, because in a moment where everybody else is still, like you say, people are on furlough, lockdown, we're all in our own homes. The moment that sparked all of that, the massive Black Lives Matter movement, it hit so much harder because everybody was at home. Yeah. Everybody was glued to their screens, and they had nothing else that they could focus on other than, unfortunately, seeing that man killed, right?
Yeah.
And so to go from that moment, which was cataclysmic, to then seeing, like you say, brands and companies from Sainsbury's to Nike doing their thing, to individual movements. We had the protests and the marches globally. You know, that's maybe since like the Iraq War, even bigger. Like, I've never seen such a massive group of massive movement across the world. It was incredible.
And that's when the whole thing, when they say everything happens for a reason, and the reason I say that is because you think about the whole movement itself and then COVID. Now, when all those killings were happening in America, basketball got standstill. Sport was standstill at the moment. Like, I've never seen before in my lifetime a sport where two teams can say we're not playing.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was able to happen, because there's no fans in the stadiums. So from them not to play, you need them to play to stream the game so everyone can watch it.
Yeah.
But if they've chosen not to play, what you're going to say, you're going to find them? Well, you can't find them because there's no fans. They're just playing because you've told them they need to play.
And also, if you talk about, there's no fans there, which is incredibly important. The other side of it also is, if you find them, are you saying you're against what they're standing for? Exactly. Are you saying, as the NBA or as whatever sports league might find them, is that you don't agree with what they're protesting for? Because then that creates a whole other problem.
Yeah.
And I think that comes onto a much larger discussion of how the athlete and how the personality is now starting to control whatever business they're in.
Yeah.
Like, LeBron James sat at the table and LeBron James said, we need this, and if we don't do this, I'm not playing. And everybody else, all the other teams were like, if he's not playing, we're not playing.
Yeah.
And that kind of power, I don't think has ever been had at the large scale that it's been had.
Yeah.
You saw a similar thing with the NFL, where Patrick Mahomes went to the NFL Players Association, and they came to the NFL and they were like, we need to see this.
Yeah.
If we don't see this change, superstars, Patrick Mahomes, Michael Thomas, many more, were all saying, we don't want a part of it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing the individual change the brand and the company as much now as we're seeing the company change society.
And that's it. It's like, for so long, these big stars and big players have been doing everything for the brands.
Yeah.
Everything for the brands, just give me the check and do it. Yeah. And for once, I say they've all been able to come together and use their platform and say, well, no, this is about the people now. This is about our people. Like, yes, I play this sport. Yes, you pay me, but now think about our people. And that day, I think, and it's just been amazing to see what can actually come from it.
Yeah.
Massive movement, massive absolute movement.
Yeah.
Again, what happened this year, and I think it will go down for a long while. And it's like they said, the fight's not over. The fight is still ongoing. It hasn't stopped anything. It just, like they said, it's been recorded. It's slowing down. Yeah. But it's not eventually actually stopped yet. So.
Well, it's interesting because there was a statement that was really, really big. It's a line I know from Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, which is, I think it might have come back before that, but that's the reference I have for it, is this is not a moment, this is a movement.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because a lot of people were saying that at the beginning, and the same people that were saying it are now back to posting selfies and stuff. And so we, as a society, are very used to short, snappy, quick things. Like, we have Snapchat where stories last for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Same as on Instagram stories, right? We are very much double tap and move on. All of this swipe left, swipe right. You can buy things on Amazon with 2 clicks and it comes to your house the next day. And so we're very used to very rapid, fast movement, getting what we want quickly. Now, when it comes to things like social change, so when we're talking about Black Lives Matter and the overall talk about equality, diversity and inclusion, it's very hard for a society who's used to just going very quick, getting what they want, to hold on to something like that. Now, the question is, and I don't want to take too much time when there's more. But for anything, does it take seeing people be murdered? Does it take seeing something graphic and crazy like that, things that are just that we can't comprehend, to keep a movement that's important going? Because I would love to believe that we don't need to see that to believe in the right ideals,
And slowly changing the subject there, This is what you're saying. It's like, for the fact of people are so used to things happening very quickly, and something happening now. It's the whole thing, as I say to like a lot of like my investors group and everyone I talk to about investing, is that too many people just see people get big, get rich quick. But it's like they say, you never see the working. It's like all these young rappers that people see come on the scene, and oh my god, he just signed a record deal for this amount, much money. Did you see him in jail 2 years ago? Did you see him rapping in a cell? Did you see him on probation for the last 2 years? Or you talk about the bigger players in the game, talk about like Krypton Conan, or talk about any guys like that. Like for instance, Conan's story. How many people know about, he had to be there and watch his father-in-law get murdered, or like someone he loves get murdered. And it's like, okay, he was in that life, or you want to talk about that life, we're not talking about that. It's like, you've not seen the actual journey someone's taken before they've got rich. You just seen them get rich and think, why have they got money? Why have I not got money? And that's my thing, is that you got to be understanding is, see your journey, take the journey, and enjoy the journey and have that time. Because same thing I saw not too long ago, a quote, and it said Jeff Bezos said to Warren Buffett, he said, why doesn't no one just follow your scheme and be rich? And Warren Buffett says to him, he goes, because no one doesn't want to get rich slowly.
It's true.
Now the thing is, if you read a book and I said to you, this book's going to take you 10 years to read, but at the end of those 10 years, when you finish that book, you're going to have 10 million in your account, are you going to read the book?
Hell yeah.
But that's it's how many people are going to read that book?
Yeah, it's true.
Because am I really going to read a book for 10 years?
You know what, as you said it, I was thinking about it, I was like, that would be long, It would be long. But you know what?
It's
that
guaranteed.
10 mil,
It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Then just think, okay, how do I do it quickly? How can I make the 10 mil now? Where you don't understand this, the people that have done the 10 years work are the ones that can make that million or that 10 million within a day or two, because they've done the work to where they know now the strategies to do those things. So
it's it's really interesting. It's something now I'm going to talk to you about very, very simple sociology as I remember it from from GCSE back in the day. So there's a phenomena called immediate gratification, and basically it's the concept of certain people are trained and just brought up that they want to receive the results of whatever they do immediately. So, for example, like with a dog, if a dog does something good, you give it a treat straight away, right? So you do something, the dog does something good, it expects a treat immediately. If you apply that to a human, they might go, they've got paid, so they're going to buy something straight away. They've earned the money, so they need to spend it straight away to feel that thing, right?
Very true.
And that is usually a trait that is associated with the working class. I don't know why, but that's usually a trait that's given to the working class, that just runs through families and is something that is kind of trained into us. Whereas what you see from a lot of richer people, they understand the concept of deferred gratification, which is what you're talking about with the reading of the book for 10 years to get 10 mil. It's putting in work gradually over time to feel the results in a couple years, in 5 to 10 years. It's like with doctors. Doctors don't become doctors after a year of studying. They have to, spend 10, 15 years in primary, secondary education, then spend another 7 at university to get that PhD or that doctorate. So, we wouldn't let people work on our bodies and try and save our lives and cut us open and do all those things if they hadn't had years and years and years of training that certifies them. So why do people think that they deserve that same level of result for whatever they want without putting that same level of work in? It's just an interesting concept.
No, 100% I can see exactly where you're coming from. But I do believe we've gotten kind of deep into this straight away. Like, it's mad. It's just mad, and that's one thing. Like, every time we get together, it's like we can just go and talk about situation, talk about whatever's going on in the world, and we'll sit here and we could probably talk about these 2 subjects for the next 2-3 hours. But the whole part of this is the wrap up. It's 2:20. I think we've spoken enough about as matter, and we've given them our subject on it, and I think we need to more. I think what I thought as well, what happened good this year is that because of all the furlough, because of people losing their jobs, I feel like mental health took a bigger toll this year, where not as in case of like more people suffer from it, but I think there was more help put out there. And I think one thing I did like to see on my social media, more friends and more family that I know was actually putting out there, make sure you talk to someone, make sure you have someone to speak to. If anyone's alone or struggling, actually shout out to someone. And for once, I thought it's happy to see more of that on social media than see everyone just travelling around, going to these crazy parties, or everyone trying to act flash. And I thought it was so amazing to see actually people starting to come together.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I thought that was a big difference, I think, in this year with the whole corona thing. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I think, in silence, you get a chance to look inwards. A lot of people, like you say, partying on the weekends and working, they don't ever give themselves a chance to stop.
Yeah.
And it's something actually we were talking about on the way here, is that you like to have a certain time in the day to stop and to look inwards. And we've spoken about it before, like choosing a gym simply because it has the facilities to allow you to stop and relax and look inward, right?
Exactly.
So like a lot of people struggle with that concept of looking inwards. But this year, that's all they've been able to do.
Exactly.
If you're not working and you're not able to go outside, you're not able to go to the gym, you're not able to party, to drink, and to clear your mind that way, the only thing you can do is go inside. And so that's where I think that conversation came from. Is that people are like, oh damn, this is how I'm feeling. I wonder if other people are going through the same thing. And you see the people closest and you see the people that you know opening up, and that encourages other people to do the same and create this really positive view of mental health, whereas before it was very stigmatized. So I think it was incredible.
So like back on that, so I would say for you, what would you say was your biggest like learning part of the year, or your biggest thing you managed to achieve from actually sitting down and taking time out?
First of all, that's an incredible question. That is a great question. And I think I would love it if everybody who listens to this podcast, but also just everybody who can, does that, ask themselves that question, because that question is incredible, right? And it makes you really value, I guess, the time, because, in like a couple of days, it's the new year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because we all went into lockdown in March.
Yeah.
What? Like, the year's just evaporated. So it's a great question to ask, and really to take stock of what that crazy time period was, where it felt like it was really long, but also felt like it was a snapshot. The thing that I think I've achieved, the thing that I'm most proud of kind of learning and growing with is that conversation we were just having about looking inwards. I've always been very aware, but I think this year I've had to really rely on just being very comfortable in my own mind. We play a team sport with 50, 60 other people. If we ever need people, or if we're ever doing anything, we're usually doing it with like 5, 10, 20.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? When we go to practice, we're at practice with 60 other people. And so you don't have to spend time with yourself too much. You're spending time with everyone else and being very external. This year, there were times where you're just on your own for like 2-3 days, and you have to just have a conversation with yourself in your mind. And I think I've become very calm and very at peace with speaking to myself and growing just through those conversations. So that's probably, I think, the skill that I've learned the most this year. But what about yourself?
I think for me, this year has been massive. Just for, I think I've said to you personally, is that through lockdown, even this lockdown, I've firmly got my feet on the ground now, and where for me, it's been just over 2 years. I have basically had to reset, had to find a new job, had to sort out my house, had to basically sort out my whole life structure to start again. And it's like, it's taken me 2 years just to do that. And I think for me, it's amazing to be able to do it, because it's like I started at 0 again, and now I'm back at 10. And I'm thinking now I'm ready to go, and I can't wait for the new year just to be able to say, right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and actually say I'm doing it and it's going to be done. And I think the reason why I asked that question as well, in the same way you said, I hope everyone does actually listens to that question, I think, what did I do this year that I'm proud of? What did I do this year that I'm grateful for? Because so many people this time of year look around and go to say, oh, what's my New Year's resolution? What am I going to do next year? But this time last year, did you do any of those things that you said you was going to do? And don't blame it on, oh, it was Corona, or don't blame it on, I lost my job. Okay, the goal might have changed, but the task didn't. And I think that's what they need to understand. It's just like, you couldn't do the main thing, but you could have took a step closer to it.
Facts.
And it's what I keep saying to people, no matter what it is, like, people that struggle to save, I said this to one of my friends the other day, you struggle to save, but if you save £5 a week for the next 2 years, I guarantee you have more money in your account than one of your closest friends, because they don't save anything.
It's true.
And that's the whole thing that I'm saying. That little bit can start to help you, and it opens doors, because once you start to see what that £5 does over 2 years, you then go to yourself, imagine if I do £10. And next thing you know, in 5 years' time, you've got this nice little chunk of savings. You think, all because that one week I said, I'm going to save £5.
It's true.
So, yeah. But I think for me, yeah, so definitely firmly put my feet on the ground, having a bit of savings behind me finally, and getting one of my friends a job in this hard time. I think that was a big goal for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, to get myself stably into a job, and then to be able to get one of my close friends into a stable job when it's needed, and it's in a time where jobs are very hard to come by. I thought that was a great achievement for me, just to be able to do.
Bro, I don't know if I find more joy in anything other than giving somebody else an opportunity to do what they can do.
Yeah.
Like there is something incredibly pure and perfect in being someone who can create opportunities for other people to shine.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same as you in that, like near the end of this year I was on a shoot, and there was a guy I'd recently met who was a wonderful soul, and I'd seen him working hard. I'd seen him actually being able to work, and I was like, okay, you've got skill, you've got this work ethic, but you haven't got the experience. Well, I'm able to provide that. And he returned back after being on the shoot, and he was like so inspired and so ready to grow from that. And regardless of what happens, he is now better because of that experience. Yeah. And being able to be a part of that is something that I really enjoy and revel in, and I think you said the same thing.
Yeah, literally, I think that's what it is. I think so much time, I understand, like, you need you time, you need to do it for you, but sometimes, you just have to give someone that one hand, because it's like I say to some people, like, sometimes when you help someone, you don't understand that it's not just helping them today, that could help them through the whole week, the whole year, the whole month, just because you gave them that help that one time where they could have said, our life is just over, I'm done with life right now. And I think that's what some people don't realise. It's so hard to try to help someone because you don't want to help yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think that's what people need to just see it as, and say, you know what, I need to help myself, but you need to help you in a circle, because the negativity is already in your circle, and you're going to just be negative towards it and say, nah, I'm not going to deal with that because it's negative. That negativity doesn't come out your circle. It still sits there because it's in your circle. Yeah. And I think me and you are very good at that, where anytime we have negativity around us, we don't try to walk away from it. We try to help it if it's really close to our heart.
Yeah. You know, it's true. We literally, there's a group chat that me and you are both in, and yesterday one of our friends was going through a struggle and a strife, and they were feeling a bit down, as they do, and they vocalised it. And that vocalisation could either be an opportunity for them to express, or it might be them asking for help. Yeah. And I just took it as a chance to share some love, and sent a message saying, bro, it's all good. Use this as an opportunity to be better. And 3 or 4 people in that group chat responded with, oh, that's incredible, I love that. And so it went from, potentially, if it was left alone and somebody in our inner circle was feeling bad and was left to feel bad on their own, that's just a bad moment. But it turned into, because there was positivity and love shared, it turned into 4 or 5 or 6 people having a warm moment, and therefore growing and getting more positivity out of it, out of something that could have been a negative. So yeah, I completely feel you on that.
Exactly. And you know what, Jed, I think a lot of people keep asking us, oh, what is motivational moments? What is going on? And a lot of people know that me and you are working on something, and I think they think it's this. And I said to you before, I love that they think it's this, because that thing is so quiet and we don't want no one to know about it. So, we're just like, just wait, because that one ain't coming out. But this whole motivational moments like thing happened because you started doing minute motivation. Yeah, and we're just, I think, over a year of what we first started to do, starting up the YouTube channel. Like, definitely subscribe to that, people. Yes, sir. This is more what I've been waiting to do, getting the conversations going, getting the podcast going, and just letting people know what it is we're about. And for me, it's the positive, the negativity, all of it. I want all of it, because I want people to see that you can fail, but you can come back from it. Facts. And it's not about, it's like you thinking, you failed today, life's over, I'm never going to get another job, or I can't come back from this, because you know what, you can. And there's so many people that either didn't know, like, I went to jail, right? And my close circle knew about it. I didn't really express it, because for me, it's not something I'm proud of. It's not something that is completely I should be great about. But it's like I said to you, like, it took me 2 years from coming out to getting on my feet to being able to say, right, I can pay my mortgage, I can pay for my bills, I'm paying off debts. And I did that in 2 years from coming out somewhere where people come back out and they go back onto the road and they start to sell drugs or they do whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this whole thing, and I said to you, I'm backing you 100%, is because I'm trying to show people it doesn't matter where you come from or what's happened to you. It's about where you want to go.
Yep. Facts.
If you want to stay in the hood, then you can stay in the hood, but the world's bigger than the hood. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
The world is huge. It's like,
it's very true.
I remember I was telling a young kid, he was like 20, he was about just turned 20, I think. And I said to him, I've flown to the other side of the world. And he just said, where's that? And I'm thinking like, you've only ever been in your block. And I said, Australia is the other side of the world. I said, do you know how much is in between here and Australia for you to see?
Yeah.
And I said, you need to see the world because then you see the bigger picture.
Facts.
And I think that's what a lot of young people and a lot of people need to understand is the more of the world you see at a younger age, the wider your mind tends to go.
Yeah. Because
then you start to see how many options you really have out there.
Bro, it's true. You know what? On top of that beautiful, beautiful sentiment and beautiful statement, I used to work in pupil referral units and schools in South East London. And we had a 10-week program, and we would take kids who were deemed to be at risk of maybe falling out of school or getting into trouble or just not getting any grades whatsoever. And we used to take them from that point and show them that actually they are loved, they are cared for, and also they have incredible potential, right?
100%.
And halfway through that 10-week course, we would take them up to Central London and literally just show them Central London. And literally 95% of the kids, when we get off of the train at Charing Cross or whatever, would be like, I don't live here. They'd be like, where is this?
Yeah.
We were only on the train for 20 minutes. How are we here?
Yeah.
And they'd see like Trafalgar Square or they'd see Buckingham Palace. We even took them to 10 Downing Street. There were kids that were literally outside 10 Downing Street, right? Who were like, I can't believe I live in the same city as the Prime Minister, as 10 Downing Street, as Buckingham Palace. And I'm like, this is the world. This is 20 minutes away from your door. Imagine what is out there.
Exactly.
And you see their eyes burst open. And all of a sudden, the possibilities and the potential that they see for themselves blows massively. And it's so important to share that potential. But something that I think is just as important is to remind people when they've come out of a moment, like you're saying, potentially if they've come out of jail, if they've come out of an injury, or if they've come out of maybe struggling with their mental health, right? Their world can shrink from those experiences.
100%.
It's to show them that, yo, the world is still as big as it was before you were in that experience, right? And you are extremely powerful in the fact that you never once, no matter what you were going through, you never once let your world shrink.
Yeah. And
it's something that I think we really are trying to do here is make sure that people realise the world is as endless as it always may have seemed to be. So yeah, it's a beautiful statement by you, bro.
No, but that's it, man. Just like I said to you, man, let's motivate the people. Let's motivate people just to do something great.
Yes, sir. Bring that energy every day. Every day.
Just do something great. Go out there and do something, literally. But yeah, literally on top of that, what you're saying is like, I remember being a kid and you watch all these films and they're always in New York City.
Yeah.
You're seeing Central Park.
Yeah.
You're seeing all these yellow cabs.
Yeah.
And I remember for the first time going to New York and you stand in Times Square and you just look up and you're like, I feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
Like this place exists.
Yeah.
Like the place exists and it's that whole thing. It's like, that's New York. Do you know how big the USA is?
Yeah. New York is 0.0001% of that.
Like, and that's the thing is like, I mean, I found out a great fact the other day is that Route 66, I never knew that goes from Canada all the way to Mexico.
Yeah. That's
one long road.
Bro.
And my thing is just thinking like, people don't say, oh yeah, that sounds great. But again, it's like the USA, Canada, Mexico, again, it's not the whole world. The world is massive. And I think people just need to understand. I think, especially with this whole coronavirus and not being able to like go to clubs, go out to all these places, more people are travelling. And that whole thing that happened with Dubai, where they say Dubai is becoming like the new Spain for everyone at the minute. Yeah. And just think, okay, that's just Dubai. You've not gone any further yet. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're still not even going anywhere yet. You just started. Like, now you've gone out of Europe, now continue to go. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, everyone's now going, let's go back to Dubai, I said, like I keep saying, the world is massive. The world is massive, man.
Bro, on top of that, I'm going to jump on that. I know you're anxious to move on, but I'm just going to
keep going, man. Keep going.
There's this thing about reaching a plateau. And I know it best from a point of athletes, you know what I mean? You get to a certain level, right? And there are certain people who potentially, once they get to a certain level, they know it all in their brains, right? They've reached the point where they're like, they are content with the level that they're at, right? So you saw it from, let's say, Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah.
He had a run of just being dominant, and then he met somebody who was bigger, longer, had a different fighting style, Nate Diaz, made a man tap, right? So, but he knocked out the longest lasting champion at his weight class, 2-3 fights before in 7 seconds. So to go from that to that, right? You saw, if you look at the interviews between when he first became champion and then when he faced Nate Diaz, the way he spoke about himself changed, right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, he was talking about constantly moving differently, trying to work out new ways to move his body, new ways to work his mind and attack someone, right? Then when it gets to the interviews, when he's about to fight Nate Diaz, it becomes very much, I'm going to destroy this man. I have it. I have everything. And he lost. Now, obviously there's way more into it than just that, but that mindset of thinking you have it all, that mindset of thinking you know everything that you need to know to accomplish, that reaches a plateau and you don't learn anything more from that point, right? Yeah. I have a tattoo on my forearm that says seek discomfort, right? And that whole thing is about completely just throwing yourself out and doing something new.
100%.
And comes back to the thing about Dubai. Like, people go out there and they're like, yeah, I love this is it. But yo, you've just been somewhere new and you love it. Why don't you try going somewhere new again? You might love that even more and learn even more. So it comes back to whatever you're doing, if you enjoy it and if you think you've got it, try something new within that, and you never know what the possibilities are.
That's it. Well, like 100%. I think, and that's what I keep saying, man. Just doing something new, it just changes your mind every time.
Yeah, fact.
Changes your mind absolutely every time. But yeah, like
we're flowing right now,
I
bro.
know, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, for all those people trying to start a podcast, definitely Anchor is the one. Like, do it on your phone. Do it somewhere nice and quiet, and you're good to go. Good to go. 100%.
This is not a paid advertisement, but Anchor, if you would like to, support the thing.
Any other people know want to support the thing with little sponsors, we'll take it on.
Definitely.
100%.
Okay, bro. So moving into the next stage of this end of year wrapper.
Wrapping it up.
The year must end, which means another year must begin.
Jeez.
What are you most excited about for the next 365 days, sir?
So I've got so much I'm ready to do. Like, the next 365 days, put it this way, people, I'm trying to put so much work in, and I've already, put it in the calendar that it's probably 2 years bit of work that I'm going to do in that year.
Yeah.
Because with this platform alone, we've got a lot going on. With our little business venture that we're doing at the moment, that is about to take a big turn for the greatest of goodness, of just amazing, and I can't wait to see the first bits that come through that. And personally, next year I'm setting myself into a very good position to where we change the game.
Yeah, I like that.
And all our viewers, all our listeners, just hang on and watch, because my whole thing is to show people that I made this out of nothing, all because of a bad thing that happened. And my whole thing is to show you that when something bad happens, greatness can come around. But yeah, so next year, I think just a lot of personal growth, a lot of business growth, a lot of vesting, and a lot of savings. What about you, bro?
First of all, some incredible goals. That bit in there almost made me tear up, bro. When you said something great could come, I was like, I'm not doing this, I'm trying to talk. Bro, fantastic goals. For me, that first bit when you spoke about what we're doing here, what we're doing on this platform alone, we're at 1% of where we're going to be.
Yeah. So
I feel between now and next year, and the end of next year, we'll be at about 50% of the possibilities that we can do with this. And I'm so excited to see that grow. And then with our other business, that is going to be something that I think could be world changing. So I'm very, very excited to see the beginning and the genesis of that. But for me, I think this whole year, me and you have spoken a lot about how this has been a great year for learning and trying to understand new schemes, new skills, new strategies. There's been a lot of reading. Me and you have shared books. Like, this year is when we put the learning from those books, from all that studying and reading, into practice. So I think the same as you, personal growth is going to go up a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go from the learning phase to the practical acting on it phase.
100%.
So there's that, but also professionally, I'm looking to do some things, man. I'm looking in my own career and with our business next year. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, watch out, because I'm coming for a head this year. So yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic year. And also, even more important than that, for me anyway, because I've recovered from this ACL tear. I'm trying to play football, bro.
Yeah, I know
I'm
you
trying
are.
to get on that
I know
pitch.
you are.
Bro, first play, I'm going to run my head into someone's chest. I don't even care if it's my own teammate at this point. I'm just trying to hit someone real hard. So yeah, I feel bad for whoever played first, because it's going to be mad. But yeah.
I know. I see you at their Christmas days, all doing a little workout. I'm just like, this guy, bro. Just like, never stop it. Stop it. I know you're hungry for that. And yeah. But yeah, so that must have been a big part of you for this year. Coming back from the ACL, having a time out from that. I know that was big for you as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, climbing Snowdon after that as well.
I was just about to say, bro, like you said, we started this thing. We're doing the minute motivations again. Literally, I think I remember recording one of the beginning minute motivations from when me and you started doing it together from my hospital bed after the surgery. Do you know what I mean? So that's where this journey has kind of really sparked from. You know, from when we were doing it back there to climbing Snowdon, bro. Like that moment there to be at the top with you, for us to be there recording motivational moments. Yeah, there is ridiculous. So it's just a wonderful experience to do that, and to do that with you, and to do that with Ethan, who's an incredible person as well. We had an amazing time.
Yeah, vlogs soon to come out, people. Still waiting on that. Sorry, but
you know, you've seen some sneak peeks. You've heard about it here. It's going to be even better content when it drops. Yeah. But we'll, as long as borders aren't closed in whenever, and as long as they don't close any mountains, we're gonna do another one of those, and we're gonna do even more. So I'm very excited to see how Snowdon can turn into something even bigger. Yeah.
And I think that's a lot like what we do as well. Is what I've noticed every time we talk, every time we plan something greater comes from it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because I think it's that whole thing with us. There's no scare. We're not scared to fail.
Oh, for real.
Because like we know the failure don't mean anything. The failure is just like they say. It's another learning curve. You get up and you continue to go on. Yeah. That way didn't work doesn't mean it won't work.
If you ain't failing, you're not trying.
Well, there you go.
Bro, failure is just an opportunity to learn. Yeah. And the thing is, we've got each other as well. That's the big thing. That's why I'm never scared to fail. Because I know if I mess up, you'll be like, bro, I got you. Yeah. And that kind of level of trust, cohesion, and cooperation, bro, it's untouchable.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. But yeah, bro, I think we are hitting the half an hour mark.
Yo.
And yeah. So our first podcast.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yes, sir.
Actually going to be uploaded very soon.
Yes, sir.
I'd love to hear the comments. I'd love to hear what people got to say, what they want to hear about, if this helped them at all. And yeah, we're going to keep posting it. Yeah. We want to see what they like, what they don't like. They might not like me. They might not like you. Who knows?
Hey, for real, bro. They might love both of us.
Hey, they might do, but they can't get us. Hey. But yeah, I think we should wrap it up here. And
definitely.
I think nothing more to be said. Stay tuned for more content, people. There's going to be lots to come ahead. There's going to be a few giveaways coming out beginning of the year. Yep. Stay tuned onto our Instagram, onto our YouTube. There's going to be lots to be plugging into. Subscribe to all, and we see you very soon.
Peace out. Happy New Year.